Hello you guys, welcome to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video, and as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about the show called From. And this show I've actually spoken about before here on the channel. If you guys want to check out that video, I will link it in the corner here. And the storyline for this show says trapped residents battle terrifying creatures from the nearby forest and hidden town secrets. So yeah, pretty much what they said is what it is, okay? And season 2 premiered in April of 2023, and it came with 10 episodes. Now, like I said, it was April. I didn't really watch it until like, what, July, August? So yeah, okay, don't come for me. Now, season 2 opens up at obviously the end of season 1. Season 1, basically we left off with Sarah leading Boyd into the forest, them both getting lost, searching for something in the forest, and Boyd meets this old man. This is now season 2. So Boyd, it opens up to him meeting this old man that's a prisoner, and at the end of their conversation, he shares this infection that he has with Boyd, and then soon after, I think he dies. I think. Now, the old man then disappears. So the question is, was it an illusion? Because Boyd pretty much just, opens his eyes back up and he's in the middle of the forest with these ruins all around him. That I guess was supposed to be kind of the room that he was in this illusion. So I don't know. Boyd now has things crawling under his skin and they can't figure out what it is. So Tabitha, she's another character. She falls through the ground underneath the house where she was digging to see if she could find where the town's electricity was coming from. And she finds Victor down there, who apparently was there to save her. However, the tunnel they have to go through to get out is pretty much where these creatures that we spoke of live. And they're currently sleeping, because I think I said this in my recap of season 1. They only come out at night, okay? They don't come out in the day. So they're currently sleeping. But this is also where she starts seeing these weird looking kids for the first time. And a busload of new people now come into the town, putting even more pressure on the group to find more resources. And one of these people on the bus ended up being Christy's fiance, that we later found out is either becoming an addict because of everything that's going on in the town, or was already an addict. So of course, Christy's now trying her best to take care of her. So Kenny, who's been crushing on Christy this whole time, is completely heartbroken. But let's get into the really juicy bits of the story. Now that we've gotten the opening out of the way, let's get into the craziness that ensues because of this new busload of people coming in, which I think ultimately is such a demented but obviously necessary part of the show. The fact that these people just keep somehow ending up in this town, but there's no reasoning yet as to why and how they're selected. But anywho, regardless, now they have to explain to these newcomers why things are the way that they are, why they have to stay inside, why they can't go outside at night, how they can't just leave the town, and how they're being hunted by these things. And as per usual, mostly everyone doesn't believe it's true until they start seeing people dying. Okay, one thing that makes these creatures such worthy adversaries is how persistent and persuasive they are. And after a while, they don't have to work as hard, because eventually everyone in this town starts losing their minds and thinking what's real isn't real and what isn't real is real. So yeah, they pretty much just end up giving themselves over to these creatures at the end of the day. Now, Boyd comes back to the town with no answers, okay, because that's the whole reason he was going out with Sarah in the first place, was to come back with answers, to explain everything, why all these things are happening to them, what these creatures are, where they're coming from, all that. And his son is especially frustrated because his now fiance, Fatima, I think it's Fatima, is starting to lose her mind as well. Now, while Tabitha was getting rescued by Victor, her husband Jim thought she was still stuck in the house, and while trying to save her, the house pretty much collapses on top of him. And because it was getting pretty close to the time that these creatures were supposed to come out, he had to stay there overnight, but thankfully he was all right. But the two other guys that had came to help him ended up dying, unfortunately. Now Kenny finds Sarah in a basement because she didn't come back with Boyd, and she tells him that she was the one responsible for letting these creatures into the little hospital that that they had his dad staying in, and they eventually killed him back in season 1. So now Kenny and Boyd have a rift because Boyd knew that Sarah was responsible but didn't want to punish her because of what Father Cautry had said to him before he died about her possibly being the key to something. So the bus driver, the driver of the bus that brought this big load of people in, is also beating herself up because she thinks it was her fault that all these people ended up here. But the thing is that we still don't know why certain people end up at this town and how or why they're selected, like I said already. So I apologize that this story is probably going to be all over the place, but the thing is, it's easier for me to follow along episode by episode than trying to give each individual story from start to finish. So Jim finally says to Tabitha that the radio that he and Jade were trying to get up in the previous season actually worked, but the voice on the other side might just be saying things to get some type of reaction out of them, as if they're a part of some crazy messed up experiment, which I do think is a possibility. Now Jade starts seeing dead people and this symbol along with them that seems to be everywhere in this town. Elgin, who was actually one of the people that came on the bus, he seems to have some theories about what's really going on and why they're there. And he also gets kind of close to Sarah before finding out she killed her brother back in season 1. Now Tabitha, okay, back to Tabitha. Tabitha is still seeing these creepy kids. The town's now running low on food. Boyd keeps hearing this music from this music box that he saw the night that he met this old man, and he keeps seeing visions of this ballerina along with the music. One of the newcomers feels like the others are hiding secrets, and somehow Ellis, Boyd's son, ends up getting stabbed and now has to be rushed to Christie, but it's unfortunately already nighttime. So Elgin and Fatima manage to get Ellis there despite the creatures being out, but another problem they run into is Ellis needing blood. But Boyd is kind of the only one that can give it to him. But the problem here is that he also has these weird looking things crawling under his skin that he got from the old man. But no one seems to believe him until they actually see them for themselves. So Boyd has this crazy idea to go outside and try to give these creatures the things that he has under his skin. After a while of kind of taunting them to come out of the forest, a couple of them actually do, but again, they like the slow chase. They don't like to just go right at it. They like to play games with you. But Boyd, he cuts into the creature's neck, and then he kind of puts his cut onto the creature's cut that he made, and he transfers, I guess, little crawly things under his skin to the creature, and he says, my blood is your blood now. So it was hella creepy, right? So it transfers, and eventually this creature dies, or at least it seems so. We don't know for sure if they're actually dead, but it seems like they are. So the other creatures, they're left kind of standing there trying to figure out what just happened, what's going on. And thankfully they end up saving Ellis, but now Fatima finds out she's pregnant, but she's really struggling with the idea of bringing up a child in this environment, and also with the fact that she was told a while ago that she couldn't even have kids. And now Christy and a couple of the others are experimenting on this dead creature to hopefully learn more about them, and their insides, strangely enough, look just like humans but only shriveled. So they extract the bile in hopes that they could use it against these things somehow, since Boyd had put the creepy crawlies in the creature. But now Christy's fiance Marielle keeps having visions and nightmares about this creature that they brought into the hospital. But I'm wondering if it's just her experiencing withdrawal, or is she having some premonitions? This is just me considering the fact that in her dream she saw the same music box, or at least heard it playing. Actually, she did see the music box and she heard it playing, that Boyd was actually hearing, all this time. Now back to Jade. Jade learns there's a link between the journal, the town, and Victor, or at least there seems to be a link. Elgin decides to take a bath one night and ends up getting held down by this shriveled up looking ghost of a woman, and almost dies after hearing the same music from the music box. There has to be some link between the music box, but we're trying to figure out what it is exactly. Jim's working together with this man from the bus named Randall to see if they can use his drone to get some type of signal, but that didn't really quite work out as planned. Elgin then tells Boyd about his nightmare that he has with the woman, and apparently apparently somehow after all of this, he just shook and he was awake and he spat up some water. But he gave Boyd the idea to make the bullets with the liquid that they got from the creature to kind of test it out. Now, they came back to check on the dead creature and it had bugs all over the body. And then Kenny had a dream where his mom was cooking the same bugs and one got out and kind of burned him. So now their dreams can hurt them. So people can't even sleep now. And they decide to finally burn the creature's body, but later find a body of one of the townspeople who had died in her sleep the same way they would have if one of the monsters had actually got to them. So now it's official that they're being attacked in their sleep. So Randall apparently saw Boyd and the rest of them taking the body of the creature to burn it, and now thinks there's something going on that they aren't telling him. And Boyd's now seeing visions also of his dead wife. Now, Elgin remembers the dream he had with this boy that I think Ethan had also seen when he first got there. Ethan being the son of Tabitha and Jim. Okay, not to confuse you guys. In the dream, he said that the boy had said to him, "Here they come for 3 unless you stop the melody." So Randall, Marielle, and Julie end up in some sort of trance state, and we find out from Sarah that some type of evil entity is now trying to kill them and is happy that Boyd freed it and brought it back to the town. So now they're trying to figure out how to stop it. So Jade goes into the mysterious tunnel that Tabitha and Victor came out of, and he finds the same children that Tabitha said that she was seeing, and apparently Victor's mom had also been seeing these children as well when she kind of disappeared years ago. So he takes her to this tree that transports her to this lighthouse that I think Boyd and Sarah had saw in season 1 but off in the distance. And Fatima and Ellis, they decide to get married in the middle of all this madness pretty much. And Boyd is transported back to the same prison cell that he met this old man in, and he sees Randall, Marielle, and Julie being held prisoner. And in that moment he sees his wife again, and every time she appears she's trying to persuade him not to do what he's thinking and to not help the people in the town. And I really can't tell if this is his guilt eating away at him or if this is this evil entity. But he ends up destroying the music box and everyone wakes up out of this trance. So thankfully everybody's safe for now. But Tabitha then makes her way up this lighthouse, and the boy in the white, who was in Elgin's dream and who also Ethan was seeing, pushes her out of the window, basically saying this is the only way. And she wakes up in this hospital, seemingly back in the regular world and out of this crazy town. So in season 3, we're definitely going to have to get some answers because this isn't making a whole lot of sense. How the heck did Tabitha transport by just getting pushed out of the window of this lighthouse? Did she transport back to the real world? Where are they? You know, it's like, what is this? Is this Middle Earth from Lord of the Rings? I don't know what's happening. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about season 2 of From. If you guys have been watching this show along with me, hopefully you probably would have, because otherwise you'd probably be very confused as to what the heck I was even talking about. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm sure you have your theories as well. You can share them down there too. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.